Prince Harry nearly broke down in tears in court today, weeping about Meghan Markle's misery. And he was told to stop arguing back by the judge. Well, Prince Harry was giving evidence in his privacy claim against the publisher of the Daily Mail and the Mail on Sunday in the High Court today.
Devastating moment for Prince Harry's reputation and credibility, as he argues with a judge while in the dock, contradicts himself, appears to fib about using the pseudonym Mr. Mischief.
Hold on to your seats because things are getting ugly for Prince Harry in the courtroom. You won't believe how badly this went off the rails. The guy walked in thinking he was about to take down the tabloids for good. Instead, he ended up humiliated, shaken, and a laughing stock in the eyes of everyone watching. So let's break this down. It all started on January 22nd, 2026, when Harry swaggered into London's High Court, thinking he was stepping into a fight for justice. He was ready to show the world the truth about the ruthless British press. But guess what? His moment of glory didn't go as planned at all. The minute he took the stand, everything began to unravel. Instead of standing tall, he turned into a nervous wreck, and the tension in that courtroom was enough to make you squirm. At first, it looked like Harry was playing it cool, but within minutes, he was at war with the lawyer for the Daily Mail, Anthony White. Harry wasn't just answering questions. He was fighting back, pushing, debating, and challenging everything being thrown at him. It got so heated that the judge had to step in 3 times. Yeah. 3 times in just a single morning.
Prince Harry broke down in big boy tears as he gave some testimony today in his lawsuit against the Daily Mail, claiming that they have made his wife's life an absolute misery.
Prince Harry, right before we got on here, we also found out he's on the stand today in London. He's in court. I feel like every time we come on here, Prince Harry's in court. He doesn't look great in the court sketch, I'm going to be honest.
Well, as we all know, Prince Harry is in the UK. He is testifying around this case that he has against the Associated News.
Can you even imagine how bad that must have looked? The judge, Matthew Nichollen, was no rookie. This guy is a media law expert, and even he couldn't keep Harry in check. It started with a calm, "Harry, you don't have to argue back. Just answer the questions." But did Harry listen? No, he kept going. The judge tried again and again, but by the 3rd time, it was clear Harry had no control over the situation anymore. This was supposed to be his big justice moment, but it became a train wreck in real time. And here's the kicker. It wasn't just awkward, it was dangerous. The entire courtroom was watching as Harry tried to challenge a seasoned media law judge about media law. Yeah, this isn't confidence, this is delusion. As if that wasn't enough, the drama deepened. Let's talk about the emotional side of things. Harry broke down in tears during his testimony, talking about how the press had made his wife Meghan's life a living hell. It was supposed to be a heart-wrenching moment that would get the public on his side. But hold on, here's where it gets messy. The timeline of the case spans from 2001 to 2013, way before Meghan even entered the picture. Meghan was nowhere near Harry's life back then, so why was he dragging her into it?
Arrogant and pig-headed Harry started arguing with the judge. This was just part of their exchange.
Everything going on with Harry today, I feel like it's a need to talk about his big boy man tears. He's so emotional, guys. His poor wife, she lives in misery in her $16 million mansion with her 4.4 million followers on Instagram, her Netflix deal, her show on Netflix, all these sorts of things, and she's so miserable.
Prince Harry, you're crying on the stand. In life, we don't always get what we want, right? We want friends, okay? We've all been in that situation. We want a friend, a loved one, a relative to take accountability, to apologize. It doesn't happen, okay? You're expecting a big newspaper conglomerate to come crawling to you to apologize. It's not gonna happen. You can either move on with your life.
Harry was the only one there, standing alone in that cold, lonely courtroom. Meanwhile, Meghan, she was 5,000 miles away in California, casually posting on Instagram about their life together. Yeah, well, Harry was losing his cool, Meghan was showing off their pool and all the luxurious perks of their California dream life. How's that for optics? People online exploded. One comment said, "Why is he even mentioning her? She's got nothing to do with the case." And then there was this. Meghan is 5,000 miles away, posting on social media while Harry's falling apart. Ouch! Harry wanted to play the victim, but everything about his actions screamed hypocrisy. Think about it! This is the same guy who wrote a book spilling every private detail of his life, including his...
I think Harry reveals more than he thinks he did, because he's, of course, trying to pull out the heartstrings about his wife, who, honestly, I feel like the judge should have told him straight to his face, your wife's feelings have no bearing on this trial whatsoever, Harry. This is about Chelsea, Cressida, your former girlfriend, you know? But he has to bring up his wife. I'm sure that's what his lawyer was doing. But I honestly have absolutely zero sympathy for him and his wife in this instance. If they had been quiet and dignified, would I have some more sympathy?
Virginity story, military service, and past drug use. Not to mention the Netflix documentary, where he and Meghan exposed their personal struggles to millions of people. And now, here he is, complaining that the press is commercializing his life. The irony was not lost on anyone in that courtroom, but that's not where the story ends. No, Harry's troubles kept mounting. When he started talking about his former girlfriend Chelsea Davy, things took an even more awkward turn. Chelsea, she's living her life in peace, running a jewelry business, and staying far away from royal drama. But Harry, he decided to drag her back into the mess, speaking about her and how the press made her life hard. And get this, he even called her the night before his testimony to talk about it. Imagine how awkward that must have been for Chelsea. She's long moved on, and here's Harry trying to use her name to prop up his case. Yeah, this didn't go down well either. Online commenters were furious, saying Chelsea should issue a cease and desist order to stop Harry from using her like that.
Harry's evidence came forward a day. So Harry originally wasn't meant to be giving evidence until tomorrow. Now, I think it scrambled him a bit. He seemed uneasy from the moment he arrived. He didn't really settle properly in the witness box, and he came in, and Anthony White very cleverly immediately got him onto this thing of being part of the institution of Spain. And right from the off, Harry was on the defensive and very bristly and very abrasive. And the judge intervened 3 times to try and calm him down. I mean, the first time, which was the one that you showed there, he was actually quite sympathetic, and he was quite like, look.
And let's not forget, while Harry was talking about Chelsea, Meghan was still in California oblivious, posting her perfect life for the world to see. But the plot thickens. The Daily Mail's lawyers dropped a bombshell. They accused Harry of using a fake Facebook account called Mr. Mischief to contact journalists. Harry denied it, of course, but the Daily Mail's team seemed to have proof. And just when things couldn't get worse, the defense dropped another twist. A journalist Harry accused of being hostile, Katie Nicholl, pushed back. She revealed that Harry himself invited her to a party back in 2011. Busted. This wasn't just a prince being chased by evil reporters. This was a man who was happy to play the media game when it worked for him, but now wanted to rewrite history when it didn't. The cracks were starting to show, and Harry's case was beginning to fall apart. Now, the real drama begins to unfold. Harry's credibility in court was crumbling faster than anyone could have imagined. His legal team, already on shaky ground, started to feel the heat. Reports started coming in that key members of Harry's legal team were seriously considering walking away.
Showing off their home, their pool, their lifestyle.
I think part of him is happy to be there because he misses the British culture and he hates being at the house with Meghan. I think Prince Harry would rather travel to London to sit in a courthouse than be stuck in the asylum with her in Montecito. Okay, I just think that's the truth. And then some other bad news in Harry and Meghan world, their show has been canceled. Season 3 of With Love, Meghan has been canceled by Netflix. They won't be doing anymore, which I'm not shocked because nobody was watching it, okay? That show is like number 5,206 on the Netflix charts. So Harry and Meghan, I think they're done. Okay, Harry and Meghan, if I were you guys, your show's been canceled. You're not going to be the next Martha Stewart, Meghan. I mean, the fact that Meghan Markle had a cooking show and she moved pretzels from one bag into another was crazy.
When lawyers abandon a case like that, it's a massive red flag. It's not about disagreement. It's about no longer believing in their client's version of events. The Daily Mail's legal team, They were loaded with evidence, emails, phone records, and documents that proved their case had solid ground. Meanwhile, Harry was left defending himself with nothing but emotional appeals and weak assumptions. That's when things started getting really ugly. Court insiders started whispering that Harry's testimony was not only weak, it was unsettled. He came off rattled and uneasy. Instead of sounding like the calm, collected prince everyone expected, he sounded like a man who had no control over the chaos he had unleashed. His answers lacked substance, and when pushed for evidence, he had to admit that much of his case was based on beliefs rather than facts, and you can't win a court case based on what you believe happened, especially in a case dealing with hard-hitting media law. The defense didn't even have to raise their voices. They just sat back and let Harry expose himself. Remember, this case is about phone hacking and illegal information, gathering serious charges that could cost a ton of money. But Harry kept coming back to his personal grievances. Every time he was pressed for evidence, his answers would circle back to his general distrust of the press, rather than addressing the actual allegations. His arguments weren't sticking to the point. The defense lawyers knew exactly how to work with the gaps in his testimony, letting those silences speak louder than anything Harry said, and it was working the judge. He wasn't impressed by Harry's emotional speeches. He wasn't moved by Harry's feelings about the press. He was looking for facts, and Harry was failing to deliver. Then the defense dropped another bombshell that nobody saw coming. They highlighted that several of the stories Harry was complaining about were based on public appearances and official statements, basically information that was already out in the open. That crushed his argument. If the info was public knowledge, then there was no hacking involved. And let me tell you, the judge was all over that one. He leaned in, watching closely as the defense shredded Harry's claims. This wasn't about sympathy or who had the louder voice. This was about who had the solid case, and Harry's side was crumbling. But wait, it gets worse. Harry, in all his frustration, kept painting himself as the powerless victim of the media. The trouble is, he's not just any ordinary guy. He's a prince, a globally recognized figure, a man with unmatched access, privilege, and influence. And yet, here he was whining about being powerless. It didn't add up. This wasn't a case about a man fighting for privacy. This was a man who had spent years using the media to boost his own image until it stopped working for him. So what does the internet have to say about all this? People online have started to turn on him. The comments flooded in, and it was clear the public wasn't buying it. One particularly savage comment summed it up perfectly. If Harry wanted privacy, he wouldn't have written a memoir about every little detail of his life. And that sentiment was echoed again and again. The hypocrisy was blinding. You can't sell your life to the media for millions and then cry when the media sells it right back to you. That's the kind of contradiction that makes you look stupid in the eyes of the world. But don't think for a second that Harry didn't have more surprises up his sleeve. No, the plot was just starting to thicken. Remember his ex-girlfriend, Chelsea Davy? Yeah, she was dragged right back into this circus. When Harry started talking about the press hounding her, it was clear the resentment was still fresh. But here's the kicker, Chelsea didn't want any part of it. She's moved on. She's living her life in peace. But now, thanks to Harry's courtroom drama, her name was back in the press. And how awkward must that have been? Her husband must have loved that, huh? The irony here is mind-blowing. Meghan Markle, who Harry is supposedly fighting for, is nowhere near the courtroom. She's back in California, showing off her California life. But here's Harry, standing alone, dragging his ex's name through the mud. Then came the Mr. Mischief Facebook account twist. The Daily Mail lawyer suggested that Harry had used a fake social media account to contact journalists. Harry denied it, but with the defense's mounting evidence, who's going to believe him? And just when we thought this couldn't get any worse, the courtroom heard something shocking. A journalist Harry had accused of being an enemy, Katie Nichol, pushed back. She told the court that Harry himself invited her to a party in 2011. Busted. That's not the story Harry had been telling, is it? In fact, it turns out Harry wasn't the innocent victim of the press that he painted himself to be. Oh no! He was a man who played the media game when it worked for him, and now wanted to rewrite history when it didn't. At this point, it was clear Harry had no control over the situation. And when things started falling apart, his legal team wasn't even there to back him up. That's a huge red flag. And what's the final blow? If Harry loses this case, not only will he lose credibility, but he'll also have to pay the Daily Mail's legal costs a price that could be in the millions. That's not just a loss. That's a financial nightmare. He's already $38 million in debt from previous legal battles, and this lawsuit was supposed to be his big comeback. Instead, it's turning into a disaster that could break him financially. So where does that leave Harry? He's stuck, his royal world gone, his new Hollywood dreams crumbling, his credibility in tatters. This case was supposed to be his redemption, but it's looking more like his undoing. At the end of the day, Harry's narrative is falling apart in front of our eyes. He wanted to be seen as the brave warrior standing up to the press. But instead, he looks like a man clinging to power in a world that's moved on without him. The public has turned on him, his legal team is bailing on the media, while they're having a field day. So, what do you think? Is Harry's fight against the tabloids an act of justice? Or is it a disastrous attempt to reclaim his own image? Let me know in the comments. If you've been following this mess, hit subscribe for more breakdowns, and don't forget to share this with anyone who needs a wake-up call about the royal drama we're witnessing. This is